Hey folks, I'm going to be looking into the second part of Scott Shafer's, I guess, informative piece regarding Caleb Hammer. In this one, Scott alleges that Caleb has done some vile behavior, and we're going to get into it. So,
Seen a lot of really unhinged stuff on live streams on Twitch and YouTube over the years. But the live stream that I saw yesterday, if you'd told me that Caleb Hammer was going to admit on a live stream that what I said about him in a video was true in regards to the text messages, I'll pull up the text messages right here.
okay, so basically, Caleb, I thought in your last video you asserted that he did admit to them. So okay, maybe Scott's got something
The
here.
text messages that I showed of him wanting to hook up with various different teenage boys, right? This one where he took a screenshot of his.
Yeah, and we went over this in the last video. Essentially, Caleb is super ho diddly ho, and he's making, I believe this is a group chat with a bunch of Caleb's associates, friends, whatever, and he's making these really, really crass comments about, 16, 17-year-olds. But I'm gonna leave this on here just for a second so you guys can read that.
16-year-old and asked another person in the group chat if he was gay because he's hot and he wants to hook up with him.
Yeah,
right?
really, really revolting stuff. Nobody, I don't think these types of things should be. I think these are jokes. At least in the last video that I saw, Scott Shafer's last video,
And then
which
there was
a month ago from today, and this one was 2 weeks ago. I thought they were jokes. And we were also missing context regarding what the purpose of the group chat was for. So, not to reiterate too much, but my position was, if this is a really raunchy group chat and people are saying a ton of bad things, it's not, in the totality of the situation, it's not really, I guess, that big of a deal. I would still never make those types of jokes, and I think they're pretty disgusting, and I don't think he should be really making them in a large group chat, regardless. But we'll see what Scott has to say. Maybe Caleb provided the additional context, and it's not that good.
a 17-year-old where people were telling him, Caleb Hammer, he's 17. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
You shouldn't try and hook up with 17-year-olds. And Caleb says, I don't care. Caleb says, I would shove that right down his throat where...
Oh my God, it's so hard to read this kind of shit. Yeah, you really should. I don't know why Caleb... Okay, so say this is a really raunchy group chat. It is, like, meant to be really, bad. Why does Caleb keep going when someone's telling him, like, hey, chill out? Like, it's really uncomfortable. He shouldn't be going further.
It belongs, right? If you had told me that Caleb Hammer was going to admit to that incredibly creepy and kind of pedo type text, he was going to admit that those were all real and he said all of those things on a live stream, I would not have believed you. There's no way that a large creator is that stupid.
Well, I mean, the reason why a large creator might want to own up to him is because they're not that, they could be not that bad if he provides adequate context into why they were said or what was going on. And if he is a pedophile, like you're seemingly implying, why would you be happy or shocked? Or I guess not happy, but why would you want him to not come out with the truth? Because, like, we shouldn't really be giving advice to people who we think are pedophiles. I don't know. Okay.
But I would be wrong because Caleb Hammer actually is that stupid. He admitted to all those text messages. We'll go into more detail on the text messages later in the video. But he admitted to all of those being 100% real and authentic in a live stream he did on his live stream channel.
Yeah, I mean, I thought in the last video that you had, he acknowledged that they were real, and that because you had an email correspondence with Caleb, and let's see if I can find it.
About a year.
Because you sent an email, and I believe Caleb agreed. Can I?
Younger the better, right?
Do I not have it? Okay, I thought for sure Scott sent an email to Caleb, and Caleb said, yes, they're real, but it's out of context. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Hey, Scott, as I mentioned in the previous email, I do not feel comfortable communicating with you because I am going to connect with my attorney. The above is very out of context. Yeah, so he's not denying that it's not real, but I guess he's not confirming it. Okay, so this one, I assume that it was confirmed when he was making his first video here. So I guess in this one right here, Caleb actually like full on confesses to it.
Channel yesterday. Why he would admit to that? Admit to some of the most disgusting things a person could possibly do, and all of these text messages I showed, and he's like, yeah, those are all real.
Well,
why you would do that, I don't know.
Well, you would do it in order to provide adequate context or explain yourself and to give your position. And it's either the context is enough to absolve him, or it's not, and he's acting like a pedophile or a predator. So that's probably why, like, you have to kind of weigh those odds. And if you're saying you don't know why, and on any circumstances he would agree to that, I don't know why you are, I don't know. I don't think we should actually, I think we should actually make it comfortable for pedophiles to acknowledge or like implicate themselves. I don't think we should really be shaming them. I'm not saying, I think we should be shaming them. I think we shouldn't be shaming them and coming clean. I don't think we should be giving them reasons to stay quiet, because then we can arrest them and YouTube TOS.
Maybe Caleb Hammer was dropped several times on his head as a child, because no intelligent person would ever admit to that, right?
As I mentioned before, there may be scenarios where it's necessarily to talk about something like this. It makes, if you have, like in the context of like a really raunchy group chat, it's, in my opinion, if everyone is saying really out of crass things, and that's just the vibe of the area, and everyone consenting to it, and nothing's actually like happening outside those group chats, like people have those types of conversations all the time, I imagine. You know, maybe not to that scale, but they'll have other different types. I talk differently to my friends than I do talk to my coworkers, and so I don't see why Scott here is being a little obtuse regarding, well, I could never see a scenario where this could work out. I'm like, really? Like, you could never see a scenario?
If you were intelligent, if you were a large YouTuber and you were intelligent, there's two options you would take. If I had made those texts up, if I had fabricated those in some ways, which I haven't, because Caleb has now admitted they're all real. But if I had made those up in some way, the smart thing to do, since someone is accusing you of heinous acts, would be to sue that person, because this.
Yeah, I guess if you have infinite money, but if it's also the bar for, I guess if you're alleging defamation, like he'll sue you for defamation. Defamation trials are extremely expensive. I think on average they're like $500 to $1 million, and that, I think that's assuming you're in the same state. I don't know if you live in Texas like Caleb does. It's not really, and Caleb's a public figure, so the bar is much higher, because I believe he has to prove either multiple elements or all elements for defamation. I know two of those minimum is malice or blatant disregard for the truth. So you could just say, well, you know, I thought these were real, and that could already like make malice and disregard for the truth, you know, kind of shaky. And then you also need to prove, Caleb needs to prove that he had reputational damage that affected his actual like profits or sponsorships. So just saying like, oh, well, you defame me, like, well, just sue me. Like, that's not really viable, even for a multi-million-dollar like $1 million like YouTube channel. And also, okay, yeah, this just seems really
This is false, and this needs to be taken down. I need to defend my name, right?
I mean, he might send a cease and desist, but if he sues you, he's not gonna get anything. He's not gonna get his return on investment out.
If they're real, which Caleb has now confirmed they are real, if they're real, the smart thing to do is to shut up and never speak about it. That is what an intelligent person would do. Caleb Hammer is not an intelligent person.
Yeah, but why would you, if you believe that he's a predator, why would you want him to keep this hidden? Wouldn't you want him to talk about this?
So Caleb Hammer went on a live stream and he was like, yeah, it's all true. Now, the reason that he gives as to why he decides to tell this story and be like, yeah, all those text messages that were shown in that video, they're real. The reason that he gives is, oh, I was just joking, guys. I was just an adult joking about wanting to hook up with little 16 and 17-year-old boys, which, in my opinion, doesn't really make it all that much better, because most adults know not to joke about stuff like that, especially if you're, you know,
Okay, are you gonna play a clip from Caleb's side to explain like what he was saying? Because if Caleb isn't doing anything with kids and he's just talking in a private group chat with other people, I'm inclined to believe it's a joke. It's crass and, in my opinion, humorless, but it's a joke, and I honestly don't think he probably should be doing that as a YouTuber of his size, but he's allowed to make them.
Someone incredibly famous. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that. Caleb Hammer, though, in my opinion, and I'll show you later in the video, I don't believe those text messages are jokes at all, and I don't think anyone can make that claim once I show you, which, again, these are all now proven to be true. I'll show you later in the video, but I don't think there's any way he could claim that these are
the reason why I'm being so hard on Scott here is because being labeled a pedophile is one of the worst things that can happen to you in society. Everyone hates them. Nobody wants to be around them except other pedophiles. And I'm scrutinizing Scott here incredibly. I'm trying to scrutinize him very deeply, because it is one thing that can destroy your career and follow you for the rest of your life. And if he's not accurate in this and he's just throwing this out there, it's reckless.
Jokes. But with that being said, let's take a look at the clip of Caleb Hammer somehow
so we got a clip.
Shoving his own foot so far up his own ass that you can see it in his throat. Let's take a look at it.
Thing that they think makes me look like a bad guy. The thing they think bothers me is when when I make jokes, a bunch of jokes with other people making a bunch of rage baiting jokes in a group chat from like a decade ago, and they think that bothers me in the slightest.
It was not a decade ago. It was 7 years ago. I mean, I get it's live stream. He might just be like, oh, 7 years, but it does matter. He's saying this to kind of give himself a little bit more credibility.
We don't say
not credibility, but make himself look a little bit better
in our content, especially in our Hammer Elite membership, the literal most degenerate fucking crazy jokes, just as crazy as those. It's like, I don't understand these people. They just want to do creator is bad. I hate creator is bad no matter what. Reddit does not care. No one that works at Reddit doesn't care. It's so weird. I will never understand it. It is the most unemployed behavior. But again, like a text group chat where everyone's making insane crazy jokes and then they screenshot just mine, and it's just like, oh.
Well, Caleb, does you have access to those jokes? Like, do you have access to the entire group chat? Like, that would be really nice to see. But yeah. Okay.
Caleb Hammer bad. It's just like that has to always be the reality.
All right, so there's a lot to break down in that clip. I don't understand why someone would, you know, blatantly throw themselves under the bus like that. But let's break it all down. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that Caleb Hammer can't do basic math, and I really don't know why
Yeah, so Scott's going to basically say here, it's like, hey, it was 7 years ago, not 10.
anyone would take financial advice
Or
from a
8
guy
years
who
ago.
can't do
I think it's
basic
7 or 8
math,
years, but
right?
it's not 10.
He says that those texts from the Snark subreddit, they're actually from me. We'll go over that. But he says those texts from the Snark subreddit were from 10 years ago. They're not. They're from 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see that in the text when Caleb says that he's attracted to the 16 and 17-year-old boys. The other members say, Caleb, you're 23 years old.
Well, the other
That's
member, not members, so it's just one guy, but yes.
gross. Now, Caleb is currently 30 years old, I believe. So that would make those texts 7 years ago, not 10. So either Caleb Hammer can't do basic math, or he's lying to try and make it seem like he was a lot younger when he said those texts. I don't know which is worse, the fact that people, you know...
I don't think he was lying. I think it was a live stream, and he probably doesn't remember how far back it was, to give him the benefit of the doubt. But yes, Caleb said 10 years. It makes him look better than if it was 7 years, because then it would have been around 20, 17, 20. It's much more acceptable age range societally, and I guess you could argue morally. Yeah, a 23-year-old making, you know, sex jokes with 16, 17-year-olds is pretty fucked up.
YouTube channel that's a finance channel that has 2 million plus subscribers can't do basic math, or he's lying to cover up that he's attracted to teenage boys. I don't know which is worse. You can make up your mind about that, but clearly...
Wait, what?
Teenage boys. People, you know, a YouTube channel that's a finance channel that has 2 million plus subscribers can't do basic math, or he's lying.
Okay, I think he's can't do basic math. Okay, I think Scott is I think Scott's being a bit hyperbolic himself here, because I'm pretty sure Caleb's on just a live stream and he's just shooting from the hip, which he really shouldn't do. He should really, if he's taking these seriously, and I think he should take them a little seriously, because it's something that could negatively affect his career, he should be a little bit more prepared for the live stream.
To cover up that he's attracted to teenage boys. I don't know which is worse. You can make up your mind about that, but clearly it wasn't 10 years ago. Now, the second thing I want to point out is the fact that Caleb Hammer doesn't want to admit my name, that those texts came from me. If you don't know, I put out a video about 1.5 years ago, and I was the one who uncovered those texts.
Yeah, we still need to watch that. We're going to be watching that after the Brent interview.
First showed those, and then those texts got uploaded to the Snark subreddit, but they haven't been talked about on the Snark subreddit for Caleb Hammer in over a year. I talked about them again in the new video I did on him last week.
Yep.
So clearly he is referencing my video and not the Snark Reddit, since I was the one that uncovered all of those text messages. He will never mention me. He never mentions me in that video. And in fact, if you actually...
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to give you attention.
Go to his main channel or the live stream.
I don't see why that's a problem. So, he just doesn't want to give you attention. He just wants to address the allegations. He doesn't need to give you attention.
I tested this on a second channel that I have. If you go to his live stream or the main channel and type in my name, it will not come up. My name is banned, all right? So Caleb Hammer, who claims that he does not have paper-thin skin, he's tough as nails, he doesn't care what people say about him.
Okay. So, he does not have paper-thin skin. You are alleging that he's a pedophile. You are alleging that he is one of the worst people in society, the worst kind of people. People will come over into the street and just beat the shit out of him. That is not paper thin skin. I feel like Caleb has every right to not want to associate with you, to not give you any attention, to ban and block you from his channels. I don't think that's paper thin skin.
Online has gone out of his way to completely ban my name from all of his channels to make sure that no one can
I
ever
don't think that's
reference
unreasonable.
me or...
I think if someone was calling me a pedophile and I felt like it was unsubstantiated, I would block and ban them and just not want to engage or talk to them.
Or, you know, no one will ever reference the video that I did exposing him, right? That's insane for someone who doesn't care, Caleb.
Okay.
I thought you don't care. You said that in the clip. I don't care at all that people are exposing me. Clearly you do. Caleb Hammer has he is...
So you don't want him to respond then? But I thought you want him to respond because, obviously these are serious allegations in your mind. These are very serious allegations, so you want him to respond. Are you just upset that he's not giving you the attention that you feel like you deserve?
The most paper thin skin on all of YouTube. If he got a paper cut, I would be worried for him bleeding out. Now, to be clear, that's not a threat. I know Caleb Hammer likes to claim people are threatening him. I want to make that very clear. I'm just saying he has paper thin skin. So Caleb Hammer, don't make any claims. I'm threatening you, Caleb, because I'm definitely not. So don't do that. All right. So next up, let's go over the fact that there is no way that Caleb Hammer or any of his fans could possibly claim that these text messages that I revealed of him liking children, 16 and 17-year-olds, are just jokes. You can't make that claim. I'll show you. And
Why
again,
not?
I could show all of these. These are completely confirmed to be real and legitimate by Caleb. I don't know why he ever confirmed this, right? There were a lot of people in the two videos.
Like I mentioned, he probably confirmed it because he didn't think it was that bad, given the context.
Videos I made about him, there were fans of him that were defending him, saying these texts are fake. You made them up. There's no way Caleb Hammer would say that. Caleb Hammer admitted to it. I don't know why he did that. He's an idiot, but he admitted to all of these. So if any other YouTubers want to show these text messages, you can show this, and you don't even have to use the term alleged. You don't have to use that because Caleb admitted 100% real. You don't have to say these are allegations. These are him confirming text messages that he said that he was attracted to 16 and 17-year-olds. So you don't have to say anything like that. But Caleb Hammer claims these are jokes, and let's go over why, in my opinion, these can clearly not be jokes. Right?
Well, you were just saying that it's going to be an undisputed fact that they're not jokes, but I'm being pedantic.
Right. So the first one I want to show, right, is the one where Caleb Hammer is attracted to a 16-year-old. And the reason we know, I believe this is not a joke, is because this didn't start out as with a conversation from Caleb just being like, oh, I like kids or something like that.
Oh God, I would hope not. Jeez, that would make him look even worse.
What happened was, and I talked about this in the first video, if you
The first video, the one from a year ago, or the one last two weeks, a month ago?
don't know how Snapchat works. Basically, if you're friends with someone on Snapchat and the person that you're friends with takes a photo on their phone,
Yeah,
a screenshot of one of your images, it gives you a notification that that person took a screenshot of whatever image they took, right? So multiple people were in this this group chat that I've shown several times now. This was a band group chat or a school. He was in a composer school. So these were all composers in this group chat.
So this was
together in college, right?
Okay.
And one of Caleb Hammer took a screenshot of another person's Snapchat of his underage friend. And so the other person called Caleb Hammer out in the group chat. And he said, Caleb Hammer, why screenshot? And he shows the picture of the 16-year-old boy that Caleb Hammer took a screenshot of. And Caleb Hammer responds with, he hot, is gay, please. And the other guy responds with, he's 16 and no, fucking perv. Caleb Hammer responds with shame. So I don't know how Caleb Hammer can claim that these are just joke messages from 10 years ago when we know they're not 10 years ago. And we know this wasn't a joke. He got called out by another member for taking a picture of his underage friend, and Caleb Hammer said, he's hot. Is he gay? There's no joke there. What is the joke, Caleb? You got called out for doing something inappropriate, and you doubled down and said the kid.
Well, he didn't know he was 16 when he took the screenshot. But yeah, when he found out he was 16, maybe he's just like, oh, I'll fucking make a pedo joke.
It was hot. There's no joke there, okay? It doesn't make any sense that he would make that claim. Now let's pull up the other one of the one where he found the 17-year-old hot. Now this one is, again, he took.
So are these just a retreads of the previous screenshots from over a year ago? And now Scott's just going over it because Caleb basically confirmed it? I feel like in the last video a month ago, he more or less confirmed it, but...
Pictures of another group member in the chat. He took pictures of their Instagram where they were all together at some sort of event a few years ago. And Caleb Hammer posts the picture in the group chat. I can't actually show all the kids' faces. And he says, back left, who is that, right? And he keeps going on about how he wants to know who the guy in the back left is, right? So there's several people in the photo. The group members go back and forth. They don't know who he's referencing. So he shows another photo where it's just one guy in the picture. And he says, in the back left is, right? So, right? And he keeps going on about how he wants to know who
Okay,
the
so
guy
this-
in the back left is, right? So there's several people in the photo.
Left
The
or
group members go
middle here?
back and forth. They don't know
LGBT composer chat.
who he's
Okay.
referencing. So he shows another photo where it's just one guy in the picture.
So it's an 18+ chat.
And he says, your third pick, just one person at a table. He asked the guy, I can't post the person's name. He asked the guy in the group chat, the Instagram friend that this guy is. He says, who is it? And the other guy says, Caleb's boy crush. And Caleb says, I would like to personally stick my penis in a hole of his. Any hole will do. Thank you.
Well, I don't.
The other person
Is this? I don't see an age here, so Caleb might. So. I think this is a meme chat because I realize now uncut probably means something, and then there's super ho diddly ho, which is Caleb, and then there is, I thought I saw somebody else. Is it just him and uncut?
says back left. Referencing at a table. He the Instagram friend that this
the
guy
more
is.
I'm
He says,
seeing
who
this, the more I think it's actually just a group
is
meme
it?
chat.
And the other guy says, Caleb's boy crush. And Caleb says, I would the other person 14. Caleb responds, but nah, probably around the other group member's
Dude,
age.
he's
if
like
they
14. Nah, probably around somewhere around his age. If they were him, just follow him on Insta. He's 17.
were there with him.
Yeah, okay, so he's basically thirsting after him before he knows his age, and then he finds his age. Does he say
And
anything
then
afterwards?
the other group member responds with, he's 17. And Caleb says to Caleb, you're 23. That's gross.
Oh,
Caleb
God.
says, not really. When I'm 50 and I find a sexy 21-year-old
okay,
and I could be his sugar daddy,
yeah.
I will do it. Or his sugar daddy, or her sugar daddy. Both my parents
Yeah, those look pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
sets are 10 years apart. 6 years is nothing. I would shove that right down. One understand. And then one member
Oh, these are new
responds,
messages. I didn't see these from the last video that he did. Believe it or not, 17, still not an adult. When I was not adult. Oh,
with
boy.
a meme saying, oh, you're serious.
I think this is a meme group chat because it's 18+. There's super ho, diddly ho, uncut, has sex all the time. Look, I get that these are very crass and they're involving minors, talking about minors, but I think the app, just based on the names alone, I'm getting the vibe that this is an actual like group meme chat.
Still not an adult. And Caleb says, I fucked too many people when I was not an adult. Just trying to save you from trouble. Caleb says, if something is not against the law, there would be no trouble. So there is no jokes there. Like, it's very clear that he is not joking. It's very clear that he's attracted to these young boys and wants to hook up with them. I don't understand how he can...
Is there a pattern of behavior? Does Caleb say something like that afterwards? Because if it was, 7 years ago, and it is just a meme chat, we shouldn't be seeing anything more than that. Or maybe, yeah, because if it's just a one-off, I don't really see what the problem is.
claim that these are just jokes. Now, like I said, Caleb has now confirmed these are all real. The smart thing to do would just be to not say anything since he knows they're real. I don't know why you would confirm these are real. Obviously, people in your audience, my video that I put out a week ago has like 95,000 views, I think, right now. He has like 2 million subscribers. So the majority of his audience has never seen this, has never even heard of these allegations. So for Caleb Hammer to go on a live stream and be like, hey, yeah, those text messages of me thinking little boys are hot, yeah, those are all real. But they were just jokes. Just jokes, guys.
I mean, like I mentioned before, he might just be talking about them to his audience so that way he can actually inform them and explain his position.
Even though they're not, according to me, because very clear.
I don't think it's very clear. I think you're acting like it's a smoking gun, but these are the same conversations that occurred a year ago, and there's nothing additional added to them, and it's just Caleb provided a little bit of perspective on his end. I wish Caleb actually provided the full group chat, and I'm a little annoyed that in the last video that we reviewed, Scott made such a big deal about the screenshots, but he didn't post everything. He posted new stuff here, and if those screenshots were available, I would have liked to have seen those.
Wasn't joking. Now, aside from that weird...
Because, like, why are you withholding information against somebody that you think is a pedophile? Like, you want to basically... You want to vet the information and then go full bore.
admission, that incredibly creepy admission, Caleb... Caleb even talks about
I don't know why Scott's being so smug here. He's acting like he's got Caleb by the throat. I don't think he does. He was upset that Caleb wasn't even talking about him, mentioning him.
I referred to as Poopgate in the past video that I did. If you don't know, there was a commenter on Reddit who claimed that he was a former roommate of Caleb Hammer.
We watched this in the last episode. Yeah, it was pretty wild. I think that based on the stuff that we saw on the Reddit, it's an indication, if the screenshots aren't fake, that at the very least the person knew Caleb and interacted with them.
And back in college. And Caleb Hammer, when he moved out, smeared his own poop all over the shower wall, right? Now, that person on Reddit verified through email that he actually knew Caleb, right? But there were a lot of people online in the comments of that past video being like, hey, you know, people can say whatever online, maybe it's not true, right? Caleb admitted that guy, that poster on Reddit, was actually legitimately his roommate back in college, although he claims that he didn't actually smear his poop on the wall. Let's take a look at that clip.
Okay.
My favorite thing that I've witnessed,
in fairness,
is someone saying that I...
So when we reviewed the Reddit post, it didn't actually provide any evidence of like the poop smearing, like no cleaners, nothing like that. It's just that the guy knew Caleb, which is totally different than, you know, poop smearing.
Smeared poop all over my junior year college apartment. I'm not going to name the guy. He was my actual roommate. My PR found he is my actual roommate. It's kind of funny, but he says that I smeared, like, what is he getting out of this? I really don't know, but I smeared poop all over my bathroom before I left. My dad and my friends, who I believe included Robert in this office, all helped me move out of that apartment my very last day I was there. I.e., not only did they likely go to the bathroom in my bathroom, but they helped me move things from my bathroom. If I had a legendary wall of shit, they would have all seen it and smelled it, and I would have also been gagging and throwing up anywhere if anyone knows me.
Now, all right, again, like I said earlier.
Okay, so we have a person who associated with Caleb, who claims he associated with Caleb on the Reddit. They posted evidence saying that they had some interaction with Caleb. Then they said, hey, you know, he smeared poop on like the bathroom wall. There wasn't any evidence for that, and Caleb's basically saying, like, why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. So technically there's no evidence on either side. There's no hard evidence, but as the person who was bringing the like accusations forward, the Redditor has to basically put something forward saying like, yeah, this happened.
Most people on his channel, his 2 million plus subscribers, have never heard of the allegations that I made. The only person talking about Poopgate was me in the last video, right? So if Caleb had never mentioned Poopgate, his audience would be completely unaware of it.
I don't get why. Okay, so you don't want him to talk about you. You're surprised that he's admitting to allegations, and then you're upset that he's not talking about you, specifically bringing allegations. And okay, I'm not all right.
He didn't need to talk about it, but instead he confirmed that, oh yeah, this random person that's posting on Reddit about me saying that I smeared my poop on the wall, yeah, that actually was my roommate back in college. But he's lying. He was my roommate, but he's lying.
Those aren't mutually exclusive. Caleb's a big guy. It wouldn't surprise me if some people want to lie about him. Like, you're also probably pretty large. Not in that way, but you know, you're 200, I think you're 180, 200,000, you know, subscriber YouTube channel. There might be some people that know you and maybe they have a bone to pick with you. It's not unheard of.
Why would you admit to that, Caleb?
Why wouldn't he? Like, it's his show. If he wants to talk about it, he can talk about it whatever he wants. It's a live stream. If he wants to talk about something, he can talk about it. I mean, if it makes him look stupid, fine. If not, then whatever. But he can talk about it.
Why would you just not talk about it ever? Just be like, hey, I'm never going to mention that.
Well, because you keep bringing it up. You brought it up. He's not allowed to respond. Are you serious? You're like, oh, I'm so small. So, you know, if he talks about it, it's like he's the stupid one for talking about it. I'm like, no. If he feels like he's being like lied about, he's allowed to talk about it. This is such a stupid argument.
My audience will never find out that there's a person claiming, a person who legitimately knew me, I admit this guy legitimately knew me, is...
Okay, so what? Caleb could say, oh yeah, this guy I knew, you know, he beat children and he killed his dog. Well, Caleb knew the guy, so obviously, you know, Caleb isn't lying. This is such a stupid argument. This doesn't make any sense.
Claiming I smeared my poop all over the walls back in college. Why would you ever admit to that?
Because you brought an allegation to him, and he has a right to address it. And if you're gonna bring something to, like, if you're gonna make an accusation over at somebody, I feel like they have the right to respond. They don't have to. I mean, it might not be like optically appropriate, but he's allowed to respond. And I don't know why you're acting like he doesn't have that capability. Like, he's not allowed to respond.
Caleb Hammer is honestly one of the biggest idiots on all of YouTube.
So does that mean you could say anything about Caleb Hammer and he's not allowed to respond to it? He's not allowed to say anything?
I really don't know.
That's just a stupid argument. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe I'm misinterpreting Scott's argument, but this just doesn't make any sense.
Right. Now, finally, I want to mention, and I want to say this before we go further into this, I don't care what anyone's sexual orientation is. If you're straight, if you're gay, if you like everyone, that's cool. I really don't care.
Okay. Why do I feel like this is being preferenced for judging someone based on their sexual orientation?
As long as everyone is a consenting adult, Caleb, a consenting adult, I really don't care what you're into, right? One thing I want to mention about Caleb is how Caleb is a grifter. I mentioned this in the past video I did. Caleb grifts that he is a straight man to his audience because he...
Wait, what? How can you grift that you're a straight man? That doesn't... Okay.
Primarily targets people on the right. And for what...
Okay, so you're saying he's a right-winger? I mean, within the last video, we actually saw we actually read through his response in terms of a date that he had, and he was talking a lot about cancel culture. But yes, it is a talking point that most people on the right use. That does not necessarily mean he is right-wing, but...
whatever reason, I don't think this is necessarily true. There are a bunch of people on the right that are perfectly accepting of gay people. But for whatever reason, Caleb believes that because most of his audience is now on the right, he has to present himself. He has to lie to people that he is a straight man in order to get a bunch of views, in order to get people to like him. There is plenty of evidence that he is not a...
Does he bring up his sexuality in like in his content? Does he do that regularly? Like, he's not an OnlyFans creator. He doesn't have an OnlyFans, so I don't understand why. Okay, let's see what Scott has to say. I shouldn't interrupt him.
Straight man, right? Let's show the clip of his most recent video where Caleb goes over how he knows a bunch of what's going on Grindr.
Again, I have a little Grindr knowledge. I like to do my research. You know, I'm an educated individual.
We need to explore this a little more. I need to know, like, what your experience is here with men.
Have a good Christmas.
Yes.
Do you like movies?
Yeah.
Have you been with a man?
Yeah. No. What? No.
You talk like you've been on Grindr before.
No, I just find things very funny. But once I go
Wait, you find things on Grindr very funny? Wait, what?
through and all the lore.
I swear I'm straight, guys. I swear. I'm so straight. I use Grindr.
Oh, the lore. If you're black,
I have relationships with women and sex with men. I got news for you, buddy. That means you're gay.
on Grindr, you get blocked immediately.
Wait,
I'm
what?
getting a head nod from Colton.
This is
It's usually no blacks, no fatties. You qualify in the fatty. So that's why you're not getting laid on Grindr. It's that like this is Grindr lore. You get
Like-
a DM, you get excited, you're like, oh, I
Pretty
can
much.
feel my asshole
Pretty much.
buzzing. I guess consent is flexible in the gay community.
Now, why a straight man knows the ins and outs of Grindr, which is a gay app, I really don't know. I've never used Grindr.
I mean, he could be bi. Like that's you don't have to just be attracted to men or women. You could just be bi.
I'm actually
Like, man, bi bros. Like, we are truly an oppressed sexuality. Like, nobody believes us.
a straight man, not like Caleb, who pretends like he's a straight man in order to get more money and get more views from the people that he
Basically, you're not gay enough to be gay, and you're not straight enough to be hetero, so nobody likes you.
thinks won't support him if he comes out as bisexual. But Caleb knows everything about Grindr. I really don't know why. And there's also all of the texts that I just showed. We just went over this. Caleb admits these are all real, that he was attracted to teenage boys. And there's actually another text message that I can now show and we can go over. I talked about this briefly in the first video, but we'll go into more depth now that Caleb Hammer wants to, be a grifter and pretend like he's a straight man when clearly that's not the case. All right, so in the group chat, all of the people, there are several members in this group who actually identify as gay, and they were
Yeah, because it literally said LGBT. So it says LGBT group chat. So
talking about their different favorite gay adult stars, right?
okay, this doesn't prove that Caleb's gay. It could just prove he's. Doesn't he have a wife or a girlfriend?
And Caleb responds with,
No, wait. In the last episode that we watched, he was trying to hook up with a woman off of Bumble. Like, he could just be bi.
Kyler Moss used to be my favorite adult star. I wish he didn't stop. He stopped a few years back. Now my favorite is Joey Mills. Joey Mills is such a twink bottom who can really take and swallow, right? Why would a straight man ever say that?
Okay. Yeah.
I've never
I think it's kind of gross that, Scott is psychoanalyzing somebody's sexuality. And I haven't even seen. Okay, I want to see how Caleb grifts being a straight man. I want to see that.
never watched. If you're into that, again, that's fine. But as a straight man myself, that's not something I would watch or know any of the names of gay male
I mean, you got to up your game, man. Like, you don't know every, gay porn star?
stars, like Caleb Hammer apparently does. And then later in the text messages, the different guys are kind of joking around about their favorite adult stars, but they're not actually posting anything inappropriate because this group is, it also has minors in it. So we'll
How does it have minors in it? Literally, in the previous screenshots that were shown, it said 18 plus.
go over that in just a second. But
Oh,
then
okay.
later it says, it's all fun and games. One of the guys says, it's all fun and games until Caleb posts a picture of Joey Mills getting smashed, right? And then Caleb goes ahead and he posts a picture, which obviously I can't show, of two men going at it. And he says, haha, changed it on you. It's Joey Mills topping, right? And then the other people, obviously, they all freak out. One guy says, damn it. The other guy says, why delete this inappropriate? And they start freaking out. And they
No
try
nude
and
pics.
get Caleb to delete the message. And the reason for that, like I mentioned earlier, is because there are underage people in this group chat. It wasn't all adults. And so the fact that Caleb
Oh.
posted an actual adult image of two men
Okay, so
smashed
it was a minor chat before, and then Caleb posted that. The admin or whoever's, has the chat basically kicked the minors and then renamed the chat to LGBT Composers Chat. So, okay, that makes more sense as to why we were saying LGBT Composers Chat. However, when he was making those jokes about minors, that was when there were no minors in the chat. Because if there were minors in the chat, because I assumed it was all, everyone was an adult. But if there were minors in the chat and he was making those jokes, I think that's totally different than there's no minors in a chat. Like, if there were minors, I would actually be raising an eyebrow and be like, I'm not so sure. You shouldn't be joking about that in general, but if you have minors present around you, you should not be doing that. And I think you should probably be investigated.
to a group chat that has children in it is not okay. Okay?
Yeah, it's definitely not okay. He shouldn't have done that for sure. He should not post pornography in a group chat with minors in it.
So Caleb Hammer is disgusting and very clearly not a straight man. He even
Okay,
says
but how is he?
there's
He may not be a straight man, but how is he a grifting being straight?
There's another audio message from Zeke, which again, Caleb has confirmed this is 100% legitimate as well. He talks about how he's only about 90% straight.
I'm a personal finance dude. I don't really know anything about that. Two,
I'm 90% straight, guys.
I'm straight. I'm like 90% straight. I've definitely fooled around because I'm open-minded. And you know, when you get drunk, whatever. But you know, so, and this is like a, you know, a man-on-man thing.
Okay.
But
It's like, man, are you really straight? Or like, are you really gay if you give your bro a hand job? Like, you're just helping your bro out.
essentially, I think, well, from the conversation I had with him, the pay will be dependent on what you're willing to do, and what you're willing to do is set by you. So what he would like to do, you guys make out. He would like to do that. What he would like you guys to do, him fill you up. He would like to do that. You can say no about any of these. He would like to play with your dick. And see, that's why I didn't want to type this out either, because that's like weird for me to say. I don't, you know, it's not like we're friends or anything, but that's what he wants to do. He wants to give you a blowjob.
Okay, so
I was also told and confirmed with him that your
So is he giving advice? You can give advice and not be gay.
face would be hidden, blurred out and hidden.
Okay. Oh, I thought you said you didn't want to until you learn more by discussing in person. You don't have to do anything you don't want to be very clear. Does that help clear some things up? If you're not interested, it's totally okay. I'm trying to be a nice person, connect people to opportunities. I'm dead. Yeah, I mean, that's easier now I know and have a better understanding of what it is. So what do you think? He still wants me to vet you, and I can make him... All right, I feel like I'm missing context into this chat.
Your identity would be hidden. And then if you wanted to give a blowjob, you could. Again, you would make more from that. And
It sounds like he's giving, making more. I'm wondering, God, I can't talk. I'm wondering if Caleb is trying to give financial advice or ways to make money. I don't know who, because Scott said that their name was Zeke. I don't know who that is. I'm probably going to do a little bit more research off stream, see if I can figure that out.
he would eat your butt. And you would make more for that. You can say no as well. You know, you could top him, he could top you. Whatever you're willing to do comes with more money, but you could literally do nothing. You could literally just lay
Okay, I'm getting the feeling he's
back
talking
and
about
let
the
him
left
just touch
crater.
you for the video. And I guess for some reason his subscribers love that.
So I don't understand why Caleb has to feel like he has to lie to his audience and present himself as a straight man when there is plenty of evidence from myself as well as other...
Well, also, it's... Okay, so it's... I think it's really shitty to talk about someone's sexuality like this, because if they are gay and, you know, they're not ready yet, why do you have to basically out them? And also, you can be bi. Like, what if he prefers women, you know, 70%, but 30% he likes guys? Maybe he thinks guys are good looking, but he doesn't want to do anything with a guy. That's also a possibility.
things that he has admitted to, showing that he's clearly at least bisexual, right? And again, like I said, I don't really care what anyone's preference
No, you do care, because you're alleging that he's grifting off of his sexuality.
is for their sexuality, but I don't like Caleb Hammer, the fact that he is a grifter.
But how is he grifting using his sexuality? You're just saying like, oh, well, he's gay, and here's all these things that make me think that he's gay or bi. But how is
Lies
he
to people
grifting?
about a bunch of stuff. Lies, you know, all the stuff that he's talked about over the time is just complete lies. And then he would grift
But
on his audience and be like, oh yeah,
how?
I'm a straight guy.
How? I want to see some examples.
Even though there's plenty of evidence that he's just lying
If there's plenty of examples, show me some of that. I want to see some of that.
to try and get as many views and money as possible. And
Well, yeah, he's a YouTube personality. Like, you show a different character and... Okay, so...
And for whatever reason, he feels that his now mostly right-wing audience will not support him if he comes out and admits that he's attracted to men. Again, there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion, but
I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like you're well, okay.
Don't be a grifter, Caleb. It's very
But how is he grifting? Because you're saying you're alleging that he has a right-wing audience. You just said that he has a right-wing audience. You didn't say anything about like how he has a right-wing audience. And you're just going on this, 10-minute, 7-minute tangent about how you're going on this 7-minute spiel about all these examples of how Caleb is gay. And if he is gay and he's just not ready to come out yet, that's his decision. I feel like I don't know, it's just a really shitty thing to do.
very clear that you're a grifter. But there you go.
No, I don't. Based on I don't think you've substantiated that he's grifting his sexuality. Like, you pretty much didn't substantiate that at all.
I never thought that we would get to the point where Caleb Hammer would openly admit on a live stream that the text messages I showed of him being attracted to 16 and 17-year-old boys were legitimate.
I guess you haven't seen drama before. Like, there are scenarios where you can address something, and the idea is that if you address it, your audience is kind of just known to this, so it doesn't blow up in their face, or you don't think the allegations are actually that bad, and you can explain them. I don't know why you don't think that's possible. You seem like, I don't know how often you do drama. You say you expose scams. You say you're exposing Caleb. So you're doing drama right now. It's not like pretty common. Usually a lot of people will just be quiet and then, gather information and then, post a statement. But I don't understand why you're so surprised that someone wants to respond.
I don't understand how you could do something so stupid. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think about Caleb now confirming those text messages are all real? Let me know down below.
Okay, so that was Scott Shafer's second video on Caleb Hammer. Personally, I think it was pretty weak. Him talking about the messages again
These are
is in my last video, I didn't really give much stock to the messages. I thought they were real in the last video that Scott did. And even then, I thought he was just joking, and I'm seeing more of it based on the names. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is joking. I think he's joking. And then Caleb saying, like, yeah, it's just a joke group chat. Like, I didn't mean anything by it. It's 10 years ago. He's saying it's 10 years ago. It's 7. He's saying that he probably is just, to give him the benefit of the doubt, to play devil's advocate, he's probably just talking about, oh, well, I think it was 10 years ago. I don't exactly remember. But he is saying that to make him look better, because 10 years sounds a lot better than 7. Scott talking about, the messages, the further I mean, this is all the group messages. He's talking about the messages, and then him talking about Caleb's sexuality. I think that's pretty uncalled for. Because he's alleging that he's grifting his sexuality, and he posted a bunch of stuff. It's like, oh, I'm 90% straight, but that doesn't prove that he's grifting his sexuality to his audience. Like, and so what?
messages of me thinking little boys are hot. Yeah, those are all ultimately that
Oh,
person.
and then the poop gate. You're like, oh, I don't know why he would ever admit this about this person, that he knew this person, but then this part is a lie. I'm like, yeah. So what, Caleb say, I knew this person, but they killed my dog with like no evidence. Caleb can literally just do the opposite and being like, oh, yeah, I knew this person. Like, they're one of the worst people I ever met. Like, they killed my dog. They broke into my house. So it's like, Scott is acting like that Caleb admitting that he knew this person but is denying another part of it is so unbelievable, when it's really not that unbelievable, because those two things can be mutually, like, they're not codependent on each other. You can know somebody and then also say, hey, that this person is being over, like, hyperbolic or is just wrong about what they're saying. Those concepts aren't mutually exclusive. So I don't know why Scott is just like, yeah, for sure. Like, he he admitted this part, but this part right here, like, it's clearly a lie. Like, Caleb is clearly lying, or he's alleging that this person that he knew is lying.
Smear his poop on.
And then sexuality. I honestly think this is a big nothing burger. Scott is saying that, yeah, Caleb is gay, and personally, I think Caleb is probably bi, based on what we've seen here. But yeah, the comment is just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm 90% straight, but it's still really weird. Like, why would you out somebody? Why would you try to out their sexuality? Like, it just feels gross to me. That's just more like, it's just morally weird to me.
And that he would grift.
So, all right, guys. Well, next time I'm going to review Caleb Hammer's interview with Brent. Brent is a pretty well-known, I guess, individual in the Caleb Hammerverse. He's actually one of the, I believe, the first people that went on Financial Audit, and really made a big splash for Caleb's channel. I know a little bit about Brent, and I have already watched Scott's video on it, so I am a little bit more equipped and prepared. That's actually what prompted me to watch all of Scott's other videos, so that way I could actually have a full understanding of what kind of led up to the interview. So next time we'll be watching that, and I hope to see you all around. Yeah, so have a good rest of your night, and have a happy New Year's.